Well, hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Beginning with the Federal Open Market Committee meeting over the next 2 days. That's the Federal Reserve panel that decides interest rates, and its members are looking at economic data, but also probably have an eye on the Supreme Court. Amy Kiley has more on why and how it might affect you.
The Federal Reserve might seem far away, but it impacts people at home, including the cost of literal homes. Today, the Fed is starting a 2-day meeting in which it's expected to cut the federal funds rate. That would put downward pressure on interest rates for mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, and other debt. The central bank also tries to balance maximum employment with control of inflation. In other words, it affects people's jobs and the prices they pay. But many experts predict just a 1/4 point cut tomorrow.
We shouldn't look to the Federal Reserve to solve all of our ills or believe that a small shift in interest rates can make a big difference.
The Supreme Court is considering a case that could affect the Fed. It challenges President Donald Trump's firing of a former FTC commissioner. The case could affect his power over other independent agencies like the Fed. A hearing yesterday suggests most justices might side with Trump.
Independent agencies are not accountable to the people.
There is no such thing in our constitutional order as a fourth branch of government that's quasi-judicial and quasi-legislative.
Trump wants to fire Fed board member Lisa Cook and fill the panel with loyalists. He wants to force a large rate cut regardless of economic data. Investors worry that would cause inflation to surge.
Former Fed officials and economists, they warn that artificially low interest rates can backfire.
Amy Kiley reporting, News Channel Nebraska.
Another thing to keep an eye on, the Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey, also known as JOLTS. It's due out today. That's another one of the metrics the Fed can use to decide on interest rates. Meanwhile, President Trump threatening Mexico with higher tariffs again, saying that Mexico is treating America's farmers unfairly. The issue is water rights. The president is accusing Mexico of violating a 1944 treaty that details water distribution from the Colorado, Tijuana, and Rio Grande rivers. In a social media post, President Trump accused Mexico of under-delivering water and threatened to impose an additional 5% tariff. He says the lack of water harming Texas farmers' ability to grow crops and raise cattle. Texas is currently suffering from a drought. Staying with ag news, the Nebraska Farm Bureau says rural families could face major insurance hikes if Congress lets federal ACA subsidies expire this month. Monday, the group outlined a lower-cost alternative they say could save Nebraskans thousands. Leaders gathered in Kearney to warn that health insurance premiums may jump sharply without enhanced federal subsidies. They say farmers, ranchers, and self-employed Nebraskans would be taking the biggest hit. The organization highlighted alternative health plans created after lawmakers approved enabling legislation in 2023. The plans use a major national provider network and rely on underwriting, which the Farm Bureau says allows premiums to drop 40 to 60% compared to unsubsidized marketplace coverage.
It's more of a particular issue right now because everybody's getting shell-shocked by what's happening with potentially on the federal side if they lose that enhanced subsidies. And, there's a lot of figures out there that the premiums might go up double, if not triple.
Officials say those savings can reach $10,000 to $15,000 a year for families. More than 500 people already use the plans, which are open to any Nebraska resident who buys their own insurance. The enrollment stays open year-round. Other news, additional charges have been filed against a state senator related to an incident at an end-of-session party. Lancaster County Attorney Pat Condon announced Tuesday that prosecutors are charging Senator Daniel McEwen of Amherst with misdemeanor disturbing the peace. This stems from the same incident that led to an initial citation for public indecency from the State Patrol. McEwen's accused of making inappropriate contact with a legislative aide at a gathering in Lincoln back in May. He denied any wrongdoing in a statement earlier this year. The new charge faces a potential 3 months in jail and a fine of up to $500. McEwen is scheduled to be arraigned in Lincoln on Wednesday. A Monday morning fire destroyed a large part of an impactful southeast Nebraska zoo, claiming the lives of many of the small animals who called it home. But now the community is stepping up to help the people involved rebuild. The fire raged Monday morning, destroying a large part of the Whispering Acres Farm and Zoo in Jansen. That's between Fairbury and Beatrice, seen here in archival footage. The fire destroyed the property's farmhouse, garage, and pond building that served as the home for many of the zoo's small animals. No one was injured. Jill and Jamie Kozelka are the owners and proprietors. They said on social media they were able to escape the scene with only the clothes they were wearing and a cell phone. A number of area organizations have risen up in the wake of the blaze to act as donation centers in support of the Kozelkas, their animals, and the many people their programs have positively impacted. U.S. Congressman Mike Flood was in Madison Monday recognizing middle school students for their skills and determination as they were awarded the Congressional App Challenge of the Year. Hanky Hazelton has more.
Every year, Congress hosts a Congressional App Challenge where students from all districts compete by designing apps to boost their interest in computer science. But when Madison school teacher Miss Middleton introduced the idea to students,
kids were like, "But there's no way we're going to win. There's no way." And I said, the worst thing you can say is no. But if you don't try, you won't know.
But after a little persuasion and confidence, even if Avery was a little hesitant.
Well, I didn't think I would win because I didn't think my piece was that good.
Showcasing their skills and determination, once Avery and two other students dove headfirst into the challenge, they emerged victorious, considering
first year entering the contest. We have not competed at all up to this point, so they all did phenomenal work, and I just can't be prouder of them.
Congressman Mike Flood appeared in person to deliver remarks and express the importance of such an award.
When I think about the future of our country, we have been lucky to be the most innovative country in the world with the best economy in the world, the best financial services system in the world, but we don't get to keep it unless we get our kids excited about things like this.
It was just a good feeling to see everything I did be rewarded.
It's a very good honor that I like, and I'm glad he gave me this and my little token thing.
From the winner's visualizations like Avery's cats and sports to Janelle's family portrait and Hayden's space exploration, these students showed us that with resilience, anyone can bring their passion to life through coding, no matter how challenging the project seems. In Madison, Hanky Hazelton, News Channel, Nebraska.
Well, more than 2,100 kids in central Nebraska will have something to open on Christmas morning, thanks to a wealth of donations. Now they're backing up the truck and loading up the toys from the Heartland United Way to get them set for families to shop from the choices for their favorite. The toys getting delivered on Tuesday. Wednesday, volunteers will sort through them to make the shopping easier for the approved families. Then on Thursday, those families will get to go through and pick which toy they like the most. The toys are for kids from Hall, Hamilton, Howard, and Merritt counties. Families from those areas have until 8 a.m. Wednesday to apply and at this point be added to the wait list. Organizers say there's no guarantee a wait list applicant will get a toy. Now, the holiday season is in full swing. In Kearney, the Buffalo County Historical Society and Trails and Rails Museum kicked off their 38th annual Christmas Tree Walk, which supports local history and community programs. The Christmas Tree Walk invites the community to explore creatively decorated trees from local organizations, businesses, and volunteers, each display reflecting this year's theme, Keeping Score. Guests can vote for their favorite tree for just 25 cents a ticket, 5 for $1. Attendees can also participate in a silent auction that features handcrafted mini trees and wreaths. All the proceeds benefit the Historical Society and the Trails and Rails Museum.
I think it's continued to grow. It seems to be a really popular event here in Kearney. It's really fun to see the different organizations get involved and their supporters. And we know that some of the supporters then will rush in the next day to make sure that their tree gets ahead in the leaderboards. So it's taken pretty personal. It's pretty fierce competition, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
This year's event runs through Sunday, admissions free. The public's encouraged to visit and vote and place bids online or in person. And finally, Nebraskans could get quite a treat in the skies once again tonight. Scientists say some solar activity might make the northern lights visible again. It's just a prediction, not guaranteed. But if you want to look for the aurora, check around midnight. Other times you could see the phenomenon are just after sunset and before sunrise. Nebraska, one of 15 states in total within the possible viewing area. The problem, forecasters have mostly cloudy skies around the state this evening and overnight. You can stay up to date with the very latest on the weather, news, and everything else by visiting us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com, click on the news tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. This is News Channel Nebraska.